JBN, we keep you informed. Mentally ill man shot dead after attacking cops in St. Elizabeth. A reportedly mentally challenged man was fatally shot after he allegedly attacked police officers in Malvern, St. Elizabeth on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 54-year-old Richard Edmund of Malvern. Reports are that residents alerted the police to the area where Edmund was said to be causing a disturbance. On their arrival, Edmund allegedly used a sharp object to attack the police team, who took evasive action and shot him. Edmund was later pronounced dead at hospital. The Independent Commission of Investigations (INDICOM) has since launched a probe into the fatal shooting by the police. Historic structure razed by fire in Montego Bay. Fire of unknown origin razed the ballroom section of the historic Richmond Hill Inn Hotel in the upscale Brandon Hill community of Montego Bay, St. James on Monday night. Reports are that the Jamaica Fire Brigade received a call at about 10 p.m. that a premises was on fire and responded with 4 units and an ambulance from the Freeport and Iron Shore fire stations.
Ah boy. Flames, flames, flames.
When the firefighters arrived on the scene, the building was fully engulfed in flames. The fire was, however, brought under control before it could spread to other buildings on the premises. The fire was confined to the 2-century-old section of the building that housed the ballroom and the restaurant. No one was injured from the blaze, but it is understood that several historic paintings and the prestigious antique furniture were among the items destroyed in the fire. Investigators are now conducting a probe to determine what sparked the fire and to arrive at an estimate of the damage. Water woes in sections of St. Anne. The National Water Commission (NWC) is advising that urgent work to restore operations at the Minard Deep Well and the pumping station in St. Anne, which serves Brownstown and its environs, is currently underway. Communities such as Brownstown, Huntley, Liberty Valley, York Castle, Standfast, Goshen, Minyard Hill, Orange Hill, and Benin have been without regular water supply. NWC says its maintenance teams have been working 24-hour shifts to ensure that normalcy in water supply to affected residents is returned on or before Monday, January 6, 2020. The company is also indicating that a trucking schedule has been in place since Saturday and will continue until the issue is fully resolved. The agency pointed out that the Minard Deep Well, being the only water source serving these communities, requires the removal and replacement of the submersible motor some 700 feet below ground level. It further noted that this is a very labor-intensive activity that requires 72 hours to remove pump columns and the faulty motor, 2 days of work in our maintenance workshop, and another 72 hours to install the well pump, hence the projected resumption date of January 6, 2020. The NWC is assuring that it is committed to having the matter fully resolved in the timelines projected. Extra supermarket to close doors on Saturday. 50 workers will be out of a job this weekend as Extra, a staple supermarket on the crosstown corridor of Red Hills Road, will close its doors for good, succumbing to economic headwinds that its management said were too strong to battle. The supermarket, which first opened in 1992, operates out of the Red Hills Mall, a one-of-a-kind shopping experience in that section of the city. But the AG Mall is located across from a number of gritty neighborhoods that have been racked by crimes for decades, including 100 Lane and Park Lane. The Chinese-owned Extra officially shutters on Saturday, January 4, 2020, and will be undertaking a redundancy exercise. Extra has familiar ties with the management of Lee's Food Fair, a glitzier supermarket, less than a mile away at the Elizabeth Avenue intersection. Unlike Lee's, which has undergone major renovation, Extra's plant has grown more ragged over time. The operators of Extra say they have finally thrown in the towel in attempting to keep the business afloat. "We have been trying for years, but this year has been bad. Business is bad at the mall," said a male Chinese manager who requested that his name not be published. "Supermarket business at the location is unprofitable, really unprofitable. It's just like Sunrise Supermarket closed and we are closing," he said yesterday. One of the cashiers, who has worked at Extra since its opening 27 years ago, said she was hopeful of bouncing back. "I serve a living God, and I always ask him to have a divine way in my life. He's the one that has my future. I see this as God's divine will. He always shuts one door and opens another. So I'm not worried or upset," said the cashier, who gave her name as Janet. Another employee said that although the closure will affect him, he was determined not to sulk. "It's sad, but I can't sit down," he said, contemplating his next move. But another employee, who has worked at the supermarket for close to 10 years, said that crime and violence had made the area less conducive for sustainable commerce, including crimping sales along the strip famous for its jerk chicken pan vendors. Among the enterprises that have shut down in recent years is Sugar and Spice, a patty shop that had operated from 118 Red Hills Road for close to 40 years. It closed in 2016 after coming under pressure from extortionists, the police had confirmed. Extortion is mainly affecting business between 100 Lane and Park Lane. When Red Hills Road kick up, is a lot of problems to come here to shop, the worker who declined to reveal his name said. Even the other malls across the road and in the vicinity are not doing well, and these businesses feed off of each other in terms of customer movement, the employee added. Yesterday, there were very few customers along the halls of the mall and a limited traffic in the vast parking lot. When Extra closes, there will be only one major drink card for the Plaza Island Grill, Red Hills Mall, which was once buzzing with a national commercial bank, the popular Gencare Spa and Western Union, no host, telecom, flow, a dentist's office, barber and hairdressing salons, and a pharmacy. Sections of Red Hills Road have been tense in 2019, forcing the police to maintain a constant presence in the vicinity of the troubled 100 Lane and Park Lane communities, where warring factions have been trading bullets. A number of persons have been killed and others shot and injured. The latest murder occurred on Sunday, December 22. The deceased was identified only by his alias Kishi. The police reported that about 8:30 p.m., Kishi was at a restaurant on Red Hills Road purchasing food. According to information received, when he exited the establishment and was making his way home to Park Lane, he was attacked and shot multiple times. He died on the spot. Maypen needs additional fire units. Days after a roaring fire engulfed the Maypen Market in Clarendon, residents continue to express concerns surrounding the reliability of fire trucks in the parish. A single unit made efforts to contain the fire, but it was not enough to contain the fire that reduced over 60 vendors' livelihood to ashes. When the Maypen Fire Department's Brooks Avenue office was visited, head of the facility, Acting Deputy Superintendent Orrett Barnswell, said there is a need for more units in Clarendon. He said that Clarendon currently has 3 units, noting that 2 of them are stationed at Maypen and the other at the Frankfield Fire Station. "I believe we could use additional units," Barnswell said. However, while all units are fully operational, only 2 units are for active firefighting purposes, he said, noting that one is reserved as a water supplier. One unit is like a tank for whenever we need water. That unit is not for active firefighting. The limited number of fire units is not the only issue impeding the fire team's productivity, but the water supply in some areas usually poses a hurdle, he said. In the more rural areas, we would have a problem like Chapelton, where the water isn't sufficient, he said. Barnswell said the fires they have battled in recent times have been worse his team has battled over the last few years. It has been the worst fire we have had over the last years in the market. As a result, we also sought assistance from private water trucks, he said, adding that the team also looked to assistance from the Old Harbour Fire Department in St. Catherine. Speaking on the reliance of hydrants, Barnswell said they are helpful but not always reliable, owing to low water supply. He said there's a fire hydrant in the market, but the pressure is weak, too weak to fill the truck. So we had to use the one at the post office, he said, in reference to another hydrant approximately 250 meters away. He said that investigations into the market fire are still ongoing, but preliminary assessments suggest that damage stands at over $80 million. Experts warn public to be wary of consuming gully beans. Jamaicans are being warned not to eat susumba berries, more popularly called susumba or gully beans, that appear underdeveloped or deformed, as these could be poisonous and potentially deadly. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.